This is the Solid Signal podcast for the week of May 11th, 2020. You know, I was thinking this weekend and thinking back over my decision to endorse the idea of commercial-laden streaming services or advertiser-supported streaming services. Back in 2019, before the world changed, advertiser-supported streaming services sounded like such a good idea. After all, the cost of streaming was going up and up and up. And who cared if you watched a short commercial break when you were watching Hulu or Pluto? Pluto especially, because it's completely free. Why not have a few commercials? Well, let me tell you something. Being home for almost 2 months and being a little bit short on recorded entertainment has made me change my mind as far as these advertiser-supported streaming channels. Why? Because you can't skip the commercials, and they're the same commercials over and over and over again. It just ruins the experience. Whether you're watching FX or Crackle or Hulu or Pluto, you're going to see the same commercials over and over and over again. This happens often because the advertisers don't have enough data about you to serve you enough different kinds of commercials. So they're serving you a very small selection based on the area in which you live or the age they think you are, that sort of thing. It gets to be annoying, and you can't skip these commercials. That's what's the worst part about it, is you're going to be still watching on Pluto. You're going to be watching the same 6 to 12 minutes of commercials an hour, and yet you're going to be seeing the same ones over and over again, and you can't skip them, which makes me realize exactly how brilliant the idea of a DVR has been. We take DVRs for granted because, they kind of came into fashion in the early 2000s. They're old news today. They've been stable for a decade or more, and yet the very idea that you could start a show 15 minutes in and skip all the commercials, wow, what a difference that made to life back then, and what a difference it would continue to make now, if only it could. So I'm thinking maybe it's time to revisit your choice of entertainment provider. If you were thinking of moving away from DIRECTV or DISH at this point in time, I think again, you're going to get awfully bored watching those same old commercials over and over and over again. And if you think that you can get away from all of it just by sticking to products like Netflix, it's not going to happen. Netflix hasn't gotten into commercials yet, but I guarantee they will at some point once their numbers start declining. And they will, because long term, Netflix is not sustainable. They're putting out way too much content. Most of it isn't very good, and it's just not worth watching. Sooner or later, people will get wise to this, and they'll stop paying these enormous amounts of money. This is when the commercial is going to come in. I guarantee it. Yet on the other hand, if you've got satellite TV, you can start things recording ahead of time and watch without commercials. You can watch things on demand, and if you're watching them on demand, sometimes you do have to sit through the commercials. And if you're watching live, the best part about watching live is just pausing one channel, watching something else for 10 or 15 minutes, and coming back and starting that whole show, zapping straight through the commercials. What a great feeling it is. It's powerful, I'm telling you. And it's something that I'm not going to say I've missed it, because I still have satellite TV and I'm happy to have it. But I bet some of my friends who have moved to streaming only are missing it. They're missing it a lot. And that's kind of the bottom line here, is if you're ready to come back to a form of entertainment that's actually designed for you to sit there and watch TV for a while, get back to satellite TV. It's worth it. If you've moved away for a while and you're listening to this podcast because you like some of the other things I complain about, it's time to reconsider DIRECTV and DISH, and it's time to call the folks at Solid Signal at 866-726-4182 and get hooked back up. They'll be able to take care of everything for you. If you already sent back all your old equipment, they can get you all new equipment. It really is worth it. Really is 100% of the time, because it doesn't look like we're going to be leaving our houses anytime soon. And you're going to want to have all that entertainment in front of you. This is the time to do it. If you're not completely willing to go to a satellite-based system, you can go to AT&T TV, which will let you do the same thing, time shift, skip past commercials on the stuff that you've recorded and the stuff that you're watching live, but only if you have the AT&T hardware. which is not a problem if you're going to go with one box or so, but it can get kind of expensive because if you're going to be putting in multiple boxes, it's going to take up a little bit more of your budget. It's a great solution for people with one or two boxes who don't want to get satellite, but all in all, I still think satellite's a better option for most people. Decide for yourself, because you can get either by calling Solid Signal at 866-726-4182. That's all I've got for this week. It's a relatively short podcast as opposed to the ones I have been doing. Please do me a favor and like and subscribe to this video. Keeps the lights on at the Solid Signal podcast when everybody knows that you're still listening and that this sort of thing is important to you. Have a great week. Stay inside. Stay safe.